I was just sitting there like on the ground Indian style, and the dog just like comes over and pulls paws right on my knees and just tackles me again. You can't say Indian style anymore? Native American style? That's what you say? Crisscross applesauce? Oh my god. Why's it gotta be Chris? Why can't it be Christina Cross applesauce? Huh? Yeah. I don't have that one. Native American crisscross apple. What does that even mean? No idea. Oh, all right. Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Thursday. How we doing out there? This is our stock market update show where we love this part of the day. We get to cover the stock market, talk about what's going on throughout the day, but we also do other things. We're financial advisors by nature, but we don't fit the typical financial advisor role, as you probably have noticed already. We do weekly classes for customers, and tonight is the next class for customers. We're going to start a new pattern. So every week we do a class. We're going to do 1 week on the sort of active trading style. Like, I know you guys are out there trading. I mean, I know it. I can see it. And do that. And then we're going to come back to the planning, retirements, right, that long-term view, the geeky stuff that you can do there to make sure every dollar counts. Well, we're going to start that next week. So next week is going to be about the planning and the retirement and stuff. Tonight, we're actually going to do I'm going to share something with you. It'd be an actual strategy that the pros like to use that you're never going to see anywhere else. And we're going to explain exactly how it works and why you would do it. And we're not going to use options. It's going to be something you can use by buying shares, do the exact same thing that you're probably doing already. And it's going to be a little out there. So we'll be over here in the old studio, the education side of the things there. Studio 1J, as we call it, and drawing it out. I'll share exactly how it works, and I'm actually in a trade right now using the same thing. So I'll explain how it works, what my thoughts were, why would I do such a weird thing like this, and what's the potential profit, and what's the risk, and all that stuff. So we'll cover that. Also, if you're not a research member, you could join us, jazzwealth.com/research. You can see some of the research posts that we do. We're not really like doing like, hey, buy this stock, sell this stock, do whatever. What we're doing there is trying to teach you how to come up with these ideas. Where do they come from? What's the background on all of it? What's sort of that geeky stuff that allows you to go, okay, I got it. Now let me go over here and do it and find some way to put it into practice. So hope you'll check that out. You're welcome to join us there if you'd like. All right, so no longer April 15th for tax day, by the way. I'll just throw that out there to you. It's May 17th if you haven't filed your taxes yet. If you're hoping to get a stimulus check, then that's something you can certainly maybe want to delay if that helps you out there. Run the numbers for yourself and check it out and see what happens. Oh, see, we got a check. All right. Oh, it's not any kind of stimulus check. What is it? It's getting paid. $182? Oh, we overpaid the reemployment tax. Well, that's not very exciting. Anyways, stimulus checks. If you're getting a stimulus check and you're owed one, or you think you might be able on the bubble to get one, you might want to consider holding off on paying your taxes there. So that's that. Let's get into the stock markets here today and talk about what's going on out there, because there's a lot going on. And what is this? You got a little bleepy thing down there. Coffee cups. Oh, look at that. All right. So they can buy the coffee cups now? Soon. I'm going over to Cody for that one. We're going to just pop it. Tell them what happened. Can they not buy the coffee cups or what?
Not yet. We can't rush this process. We'll make sure we get it right. Yep. Very soon.
So the coffee cups are about ready. Your mic wasn't on there. I got you.
Oh, I wasn't on?
They're ready?
It'll be soon. Very soon. We're still working on it.
Very soon. When can they buy coffee? Can we get rid of these things?
It'll be soon. I don't know how else to tell you that. It'll be very soon.
But are we going to be able to cancel the people spending stupid money on stuff? Can we work on that first?
No, that's always going to happen.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about the stock market today. Apparently, coffee cups are on the way if you're interested in those. More info to come. Looking at the Dow, here we go. So we'll start with the Dow. I'm going to go over here. We hit new highs to start the day. It was actually positive for part of the day. Started reverse course, finishes the day off negative. Not horrible. I mean, you had stuff like United Healthcare. That one actually moved to new highs. One of the bigger gainers in the Dow overall. Then you had banks. So the banks held their own pretty much, considering how much we sold off at the end of the day. Banks on rising interest rates. We'll cover that in just a little bit. But in the Dow, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, still with gains at highs. Could be pulling back here, and I know that's a welcome pullback for a lot of you. On the downside, you're going to find things like Chevron, Yeah, I know some of you waiting for pullbacks in oil and energy and stuff. It's happening. It's finally getting here. So finally you have somewhere to look. Looking elsewhere, you got Apple, big tech, a little bit weaker today. We'll talk about that. And Boeing reversing course and pulling back just a little bit. I think they're going to do some preliminary sort of maintenance on some of their 787s there. But those were the big decliners looking over in the Dow. If we look at the Nasdaq there, your weakness today really in two areas, easy to kind of analyze today. You got Tesla pulling back, erasing all of yesterday's gains, down 7% on the day. It's known for being volatile. I mean, what do you want? If you're a Tesla player, you know what's going on there. You're not surprised by today. But if we look around, you're going to find that semiconductors were the other weak area, continuing this really tough Christmas tree type trading. Green day, red day sort of thing. AMD down 5.5%. CLAC, KLA 10 core down 5%, reversing all of the last couple days worth of growth. Microchip doing the same thing, and the story is the same. Just wherever you're looking in semiconductor land, if you're looking for a pullback, don't take your eyes off the semiconductors. Even Micron pulling back. I know that's the popular one there. Even that one giving you a little bit of help there. So other than that, if you're looking in the Nasdaq today and that's your go-to index, there's not a lot positive. You got CSX Railroad. Actually, railroads did good today. CSX was positive. Alta, one of our office trades here, little positive, just barely gain on the day there. And Amgen just maybe petering out a little bit on its most recent rally there. So that's what you got going on there. Let's look at the S&P 500. Your leaders today, even with the drop, is going to be banks and broadcasters. And I hate that I have to say that, but looking at some of the banks going on in there, you've got Hartford Insurance, possible takeover from Chubb. Actually, apparently it was just out of nowhere. They call it unsolicited takeover offer. They set their eyes on something, they did it. Viacom, unfortunately, up a little bit, but still away from the $100 mark. I need it to stay under $100, so I'm okay there. I'm not too frustrated. And you got News Corp hitting new 52-week highs there as well. Looking in the S&P, just sticking with a couple things here. Carrier Global, we happen to own it. We're excited about that. Up 4% on the day, showing strength on an otherwise weak day, right? So if you own stocks that are holding up, those are the ones that you kind of say, okay, you're good. You know what you're doing. I'm going to go focus on the ones that aren't performing so well, right? Also, Republic Service Group reverses all of yesterday's losses. Remember, yesterday was down on waste management news there. That almost reversed all of yesterday's losses, but not quite there. So that's where you're at. The S&P sitting up 4.5% year to date, even with today's pullback. So not bad. Still just chopping around up here at highs. Not really much to complain about. However, if you've been in and you're new to investing over the last month, you got nothing, right? You're basically just chopping right there. If you started about this time last month, then you have no gain, no loss. So that's a little bit frustrating there. If we go to the sector breakdown here for the day, let's take a look and see what's going on. I'm going to use this guy right here. And you can see the breakdown of everything and how it's kind of happening there. Energy, lower on oil's drop today. Actually, oil had a pretty significant drop. It was down almost 10% at one point, finishes the electronic session down by about 7.75%. There you go. There's your pullback. Maybe helpful for gas prices there. We'll see what happens, but if you're looking for the pullback there, you're happy to see that. Financial is going to be up at the top there. Steepening yield curve, by the way, for the banks. Very helpful for the banks if you're familiar with bonds. If you're not familiar with how all this works, I'll tell you what. If you're one of our clients or one of our research members, you go on into your dojo. You're going to go to the Notes from Jazz section off to the left there, and you're going to click on this last one, right, from February 27. Give you a little update of how things are going. Then I go down here and I explain how the yield curve, what it is, how it works, why does it do what it's doing, and why is it steepening. And I do it in really, just simple, basic layman's kind of terms there to help you out and look, it's not exciting, right? I'll give you that. But at least if you want to know how it works and kind of be able to keep up with your friends and stuff and the conversations they're having, you can check that one out. The spread between the 2 and the 10-year bonds at the moment, notes and bonds, the spread is the widest that it's been since 2015. Bad for tech stocks, good for bank stocks. And now you've got a place to go get an explanation if you're looking for one. If you go over to tech stocks today, we just mentioned, right? Rates steepening yield curve, bad for tech stocks, started to give you a little bit of a pullback there, beaten down by those higher rates as they moved. If you look down over here to the left, You're going to find things like Apple, Microsoft, big tech. Those were all your biggest contributors to the downside today. I'll sort the list so you can see it's the big mega cap names that were the weakest, you would say the biggest drag on the sector for the day. One thing I found interesting, if you're looking at the sectors, you kind of just look over here and see how things went intraday if you want. If you're looking across, look at this brown line, light brown, all of a sudden starts ticking up. Everything else is bleeding off at the end of the day. That light brown line held up pretty good. That's your utilities in there. If you look at utilities, even with the rates moving slightly higher, not too bad. There's some interesting names going on in there. It's not an interesting sector, I'll give you that. But that one held up nicely. I don't know if that's the start of something, but that caught my eye and certainly something to maybe just see if we'll come back to and see what happens. All right, new highs for the day. 85 of them, right? Yes, 85 new highs on the day. I'll go through a few of them that stuck out in case you are a new high follower. Corteva hitting new highs as well. It was one of them. Nice tight uptrend here that seems to be getting stronger. So maybe something that you're interested in there. Hershey from the other day, that's that breakout. I couldn't find a way to play it. I mentioned this yesterday. I saw the break to new highs. I was trying to find something interesting to do. Nothing to do there, so bummer. That one goes on without me. And I got a nice consolidation here, and now that break to new highs continuing. It's just grabbing more attention. People that have alerts set or scanners set or whatever, it's grabbing their attention, and clearly Hershey is doing well and continues to do well. The ones that Philip Morris, we mentioned this yesterday, kind of a cool little pattern that hit new highs. Today was the bigger move of the days there, up 1.5%. So it's nice that it gave a little heads up there. McKesson's a very similar, you notice how we're always looking at the same patterns for new highs. They just kind of all look the same. And so got a breakout to new highs here, holding up nicely. I would even still maintain that if it pulled back, that would be more interesting than if it just took off. And then I mentioned the railroads doing well. Kansas City Southern. Also breaking a new highs, one of the ones on the list there today. So I thought that might be one to look at. Again, it's not exciting, but it's where the money's moving right now, so maybe something to pay attention to. Let's do stocks in the news. Just a handful of things here. We'll just cover this over here. Let's cover some of this here. Dollar General, down 4.5% on the day. So Dollar General misses on earnings, lowered their guidance going forward. I would argue this is a little extended with this decline today. Big volume. They also are increasing their share buyback program. They raised their dividend just a touch as well, so that is why they are in the news. Williams-Sonoma, they sell overpriced cooking stuff, in my opinion. They beat on earnings by 65 cents because people were out buying more stuff to cook at home, I'm assuming. And guidance was as expected. Revenues came in better than expected. They're going to spend $1 billion buying back shares. That was likely the focus for anyone that tracks that stock. Five Below beats on earnings by 9 cents. They raised their guidance going forward. It did start at new highs, but succumbed to the market's pullbacks today, and it is what it is there. Nokia. So Nokia was in the news there as well. They said their full year, the guidance that they'd given, they expect it to stay the same. Not any better. Everybody was looking for it to be better. Give us something, and they gave you nothing. So basically that one's still floundering around, right around the $4 mark there. AMC, if I read this right. So AMC says they're going to have 98% of their theaters open by tomorrow. I believe it was tomorrow. 26th, March 26th, not the 19th. So by the 26th, they're planning to have about 98% of its theaters open. There you go. Okay, there's a reason to get excited about it, not because of the other garbage that was going on before. And those are the stocks in the news. Remember, you got a lot of changes coming up next week, start of the week for the S&P 500 with Penn National, Generac, Caesars Resorts. You got Broadcom moving to the S&P 100, T-Mobile S&P 100. Lots of changes, so stuff to keep track of there. Speaking of Philip Morris, they're paying out $1.20, and speaking of Broadcom, paying out $3.60 ex-dividend day today, so nice one there. Johnson Controls also paying out 27 cents, and I'll let the stream catch up. While I take your questions, I will run over here to the office trades that we're currently playing around with. Crown Castle, this is the one that me and Cody are on opposite sides of the trade. Again, it did nothing, so that's good for both of us there, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm not going to say too much about Viacom and Discovery because we know what we want to happen there. It's not happening. So that's okay with that one. Walmart, just a slight pullback here today. Nothing crazy, I think. I think it ends up making a higher low. So today was just a bad day overall, but I don't think it's going to make new lows And so, we'll see what happens there. The two that you see towards the bottom there, those are the that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So that's kind of a cool, unique, like geeky way of playing a couple different stocks. That's that pro strategy I'm going to talk about here tonight and get set up for there. But there you go, just a little bit of a hint as to what's going on there. And I'll see if I can take your questions, and we'll go from there. Yeah. Mr. Sills likes the yield curve article. Yeah, it's there for you. I got a lot of questions on it, so I thought, all right, well, let's just explain it as if I'm explaining it to my daughter or something. And again, it's not exciting, but at least you know. There you go. You see a little devil today? Yeah, is that what you see? I see a slightly balding, ever-aging man, but I'm glad that you see that. I love it. Always love with the little small pullbacks, especially after you buy. I don't want that. I want to buy the pullbacks. You don't have to guess the bottom, but it's always nice to get a little discount. What was the question there? Thoughts on CRSR? Oop, no, I typed it wrong. I'm sorry. CRSR. There we go. So the reason I can't type it, I don't look at these. So still too new for me. We're earlier than 200 days. That's kind of my rule there. So I won't follow these as much. I like the space. I like what they're doing, but it's just I'd break my own little rule there. Yep. I would break my rule. If a little bit of hair gel, I could get these things. Maybe a little couple horns going on here. You guys don't see me when I wake up, but I probably could. Yeah, I have weird hair. Yeah. Can we all admit that unless the Fed gets its wish, with people begging for yield curve control from them, as choppiness will slow and slide down and continue? I think what's going on in the bond market. By the way, that was another trade I did today. I did the TLT. I took a shot on that bouncing. I just think it's overextended there. I was pretty conservative with it, but I think the TLT, which tracks the long bonds, I think that ends up bouncing, meaning yields come down ever so slightly. I think we're basically finding your temporary sort of pause here for that one. So took a shot there. But I think with that in mind, since you know now that I'm taking that shot there, it's obvious that I think that bond traders will not beat the Fed. In the short term, yeah, it's fine. But the Fed sits back and they're like, do whatever you got to do. They're not going to beat them. Yep. I like it. Oil stocks should be doing decent. Energy could also be ramping up. Nothing's normal about the wide drops in stocks. I like it. Yeah, I like the pullback in oil. A lot of the energy names. Now they're working on it. Remember, I mentioned the other day, I think yesterday, there's not much to do there. It's starting. Today was obviously very helpful. There's not a lot to do there. You got to start picking through some of the names you're interested in and watching those that are pulling back. It's also a good time to start watching which ones are not pulling back as much and which ones have officially kind of followed the lead of oil. Yep. Bad hair day is better than no hair at all. I'll give you that. Yeah, I'm happy there's something there for me to wake up to every day. I'll tell you. Oh yeah. You bought Cloudera today. All right. I think that's more of a statement there. You bought that pullback, just like me. You like the contrarian type play. I don't know. Same thing with the IPO on Coupang. I can't. I just don't look at those. I wanted to check Sun Country. They started trading, by the way. So, I mean, it's only 2 days old, but I just was curious. They priced well above, but not something that I look at. Yeah, right. You bought 100. You bought there you go. So you're telling me what you bought there. All right. Yeah, I mean, no real thoughts other than I like that you bought the pullback. You know what I mean? I don't know that you found the bottom or anything. That's just a guess, but I like the patience on it. You did not buy it on the first day of that big move, right? The earnings gap down there. So I like the patience on it. I think you're within a range, but it's hard to say, like, is that the bottom? And if so, you know now, that when it does bounce, you're not expecting $16.50, $17. Like, that's not something that's just going to happen out of nowhere. It would take some sort of corporate move or big time change that was seen as majorly positive, a buyout even, and you don't want to play for those odds, at least on a consistent basis. Yeah. I love it. Oh, that's Mr. Bishop with the making me feel better about the hair. It could be worse, I guess. Yeah. Stats on market performance on quadruple witching day. I did a long time ago. That's like the second time I've been asked that in a while. So something I could dig through. I keep everything in the old Dropbox, so I'm sure I have it in there. Maybe it's something we could update, but nothing. I don't have anything at the moment for you. Yeah, I love it. All right, I'm gonna get ready for our class tonight because it's gonna be an interesting one. Different way to look at things, right? A lot of times people just buy a stock because you think it's going up. Well, how can we have no real bias and still use stocks to do that? And sort of pit them against each other. So we'll have some fun with that tonight. Come grab a drink, hang out with us there. We'll be over here in the class room setting there. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. By the way, I did a behind-the-scenes video, a real quick one, just a minute ago, on the Dustin Tibbetts YouTube channel. So if you want to just see some of the cameras and stuff, where they're at, and kind of how funky it actually looks, you'd be surprised. The one camera that is over there that faces this way, you'd be surprised what kind of a tripod we use for that, if we call that thing a tripod. All right, see you later.